For 70 years, the Humane Society family of organizations has worked side by side around the globe to create a more humane world for animals. Because we know animal cruelty is in what we eat, in what we wear, in how we live. Animal cruelty is everywhere. Kinder tomorrow. We bring big ideas, bold action, and the conviction that we can make a difference.
Animals around a central insight, a unifying and rallying idea that makes us also become better. We have to be inclusive, we have to be equitable and sustainable in our mission, which is to tackle the root causes of animal cruelty and create permanent.
Well, my appeal to the public would be that animal welfare is a new science, and it is for human beings and animals, because we live so interconnected with animals and nature. It's important to understand the needs and the science of it to be able to live in peace and in a balance. The animals are so contributing to every aspect of our life, be it in scientific research or in our food industry or on the streets, in our homes, in the forest, which is so important for the earth, for our air, clean air. So unless we understand how to live in harmony with animals, it would be a terrible future for humanity. It would be a terrible future if we don't learn to live in harmony, and if we don't bring our children up to be empathetic, kind and compassionate to animals. We will forget our humanity. Thank you.
So we already do a lot of policy work. We work with the government, state and central, and across the world in 50 countries we work to bring in animal welfare oriented legislations. So whether it is those who are farmed animals who are used for food, better living conditions for them, we promote plant-based food, we want wild animals to stay wild, so to end captivity, to mitigate human elephant conflict, to mitigate human snake conflict. We do a lot of work. We also do education and awareness across communities, across schools and other institutions. So we also work with corporates who have a stake in animal welfare. So who use animals or whose policies have animals in them. We work with them to make their policies better.
It's about driving a systematic change to create a kinder and more compassionate world. Our strength lies in the unshakable belief that we can and will change the world. It is in the hearts of those who stand with us, those who know that the foundation of a compassionate society does not fray at the ends, that making peace with all beings is the only way forward. The journey.
Hi Vasanthi, so nice to see you. This unspoken bond, this love for animals and nature, for all of us it would have gone way back into childhood. And like Alok said, this childhood need to express, and then becomes your way of life. And I think that's what brings us all together and makes us feel so comfortable in each other's company, and makes us so puzzled when we realize that the rest of the world doesn't necessarily feel that way. But it also gives us a common vision and a purpose, and the courage to do what we do. And congratulations to Humane Society International and India and all the branches across the world for the wonderful work that you have been doing, and to each and every one of you who are part of Humane Society. Congratulations. My journey with animal welfare, like many of you, must have started for many of you, started when I was 6 years old. And I remember it was a rescue of a little creature, and my mother, fortunately for me, did not prevent me. She didn't say unhygienic or unhealthy, or she just allowed me to bring it inside. It was a injured crow, and she allowed me to bring it inside the house, and she allowed me to clean it up and nurse its wounds, and she gave me her shoulder when it died, and I cried, and she just let me continue that way, and I'm really grateful to my mother for that. In Hyderabad, of course, I recognize Rajiv Reddy. He was one of the first people when he realized that we had our early pet shows of the Blue Cross and Country Club, and he always gave the venue free of cost. And when we were looking for a place, all the veterinary hospitals, the government veterinary hospitals in the city, I would go and beg for, give me place to put 10 cages, or 1 buffalo, or 1 horse, or 1 cow. And of course they would all allow, but then they would crib, after a little while, saying there's no place anymore, nobody can come, nobody can go, all your animals are all over the place. It was Rajiv Reddy who said, you can apply for land, and he very sweetly did all the paperwork, and Blue Cross of Hyderabad got that piece of land thanks to Rajiv's support. And Rajiv, you'll be sorry to know they've asked us to move after 32 years, yeah. But hopefully they will allocate us a place close to Kukatpalli, and it'll be on the outskirts. I think we are all brave, and life goes on, and we will continue to do what we do. So from preventing the killing of dogs and changing, I know Abhaya was also a pioneering organization. We stopped the killing of dogs and moved it to the ABC program here, started the sterilization, vaccination, the adoption programs, and the rescue volunteer networks. What a brave and beautiful network. I see Teja here, he's one of the rescue volunteer networks. So many who've been angels to take in injured, abused animals. Shreya, of course. Hundreds and hundreds of young people who opened their hearts and homes to so many creatures in need of help. My life would not have been worth if it wasn't for this, for the work that we've done together, and for the changes that we've been able to bring about together. I truly feel fulfilled. From stopping the wildlife in circus and moving animals out of the circus, and talking to laboratories where they experimented on animals. And today the same scientists come to me and said, Amla ji, you'll be so happy to know you used to talk, and it was Andrew, Dr. Andrew, yes, Rowan. I remember 15, 20 years ago, and there were all these workshops, and he's saying, the supercomputers will come, and the tissue culture will come, and they're coming to me now and saying, ma'am, we're getting very good results with tissue culture testing. We've completely stopped animal testing. And I never thought I'd live to see that day, so it's a wonderful time. So much has been done. And then the last time we counted, there were like 64 of our various volunteers and volunteer training programs, young people who've gone on to open their own organizations. So the movement is spreading, and it's just so wonderful. So I was also very fortunate to have listened to Rukmini Devi, who was the director of the institute I studied at, Kalakshetra, and she was responsible to bring in the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, and the gentleman who researched all the evidence to present for that act was Peter Hoffman, who was my dance teacher's husband, and I grew up in their house. When I was learning to dance, I also learned about animal welfare. Dr. Chini Krishna, Vasanthi, of course, I mentioned. Dr. Lakshmi, there was Dr. Vijay Kumari, one of the first veterinarians. And yes, when the world changes so fast and so much has happened, I think every organization must look at reinventing themselves. All of us need to relook at our goals and relook at our purpose and relook at what really is important to do for the next phase. If there are 4 or 5 things I can leave you with, I won't take up the whole evening. Maybe in my journey, if I can hold 4 or 5 things, besides, of course, this deep and unconditional love for animals, I think it is learning to speak. Because too often we get tongue-tied or we get overwhelmed or intimidated. I think learning to speak matters to make a difference for animals. Learning to listen, because the cries of a mother whose child has been badly bitten by a dog are real, and until we're willing to listen to what terrifies a community and what truly they need, what support they need, unless we listen, we will not be able to work together to find a solution. And learning to work together, despite all our differences and despite the dichotomy and the frustration, learning to work together really matters, and that will be our strength. But to do that, we have to manage, the internal world, the emotions, the knowledge, and our social interactions. Oh boy, I learned how to meditate, to be able to do that, to be able to channel all that sadness and sorrow, and listening to the cries of suffering that was endless. I learned to look inside and find some inner courage and peace to be able to face things. And learning that grit and that indomitable courage to continue to get up and go out and do it. Just do it. I believe in humanity. I believe in human generosity. I believe in kindness. I believe in the resilience we all have as part of nature. This precious bond we have with animals and all of creation. I believe in compassion. And I believe that together we can do so much more. Thank you for having me with you. And I'm looking forward to what you have in store. Thank you.
So our vision stands for a humane world for both humans and animals, because we truly, this is our vision. Our vision is to create a more humane world where humans and animals live in
Okay, so we're at the formerly Humane Society International, and they're called today, they changed their name to Humane World for Animals. It's the relaunch of this organization. They've been doing animal welfare and animal rights activities across the world, and their presence in India has been there for the last 20 years or so. Most of their group have volunteered at Blue Cross of Hyderabad and be part of Blue Cross of Hyderabad when they were students. They were young students. So it's very nice to see them having grown and matured and now taken up careers in animal welfare. And Humane Society, now called Humane World, has done remarkable work across the world, right from farm animal protection to street animal ABC programs, a lot of work with wildlife and rescues and rehabilitation during natural calamities. So it's just very nice to see the community here and to wish them all the very best for their launch.
What is your aim for the organization?
So I think they have a spokesperson. I can call them, you can question them. I'm here to support them and wish them well on the relaunch.
What you are appealing to the public who are killing the animals?
Sorry.
I'm Alok Parna Sengupta. I'm the Managing Director for Humane Society International India, which from today became Humane World for Animals India. So we've become one global name across the world. We used to be called Humane Society of the United States and Humane Society International, which is now one name, Humane World for Animals. So with this, our determination becomes stronger to end all animal cruelty. We want to create a better future for humans and people across the world and to go to the root causes of cruelty and end suffering of animals. Today, we launched this in Hyderabad. We are actually we are present in 12 cities of the country, but many of us sit out of Hyderabad, and we've been here for 12 years. And we thought it would be a good showcase of our people in Hyderabad. And we are so glad that Srimati Amla Akineni came to be our guest of honor. She's been our mentor, and I've started my animal welfare career in Blue Cross of Hyderabad. So we're very grateful to have her. And our partner organizations from across the country have come. So we are really happy that this has happened, and we hope that people will now recognize the work we do and support us in our efforts to end all animal cruelty. Thank you.
Cruelty, neglect, and exploitation. In India, we witness cruelty every day. Street animals are treated as outcasts with no compassion. Intensive animal agriculture denies dignity to billions. Animals are forgotten in disasters. Experiments reduce them to mere numbers.
That fuels every step we take.
We are reshaping the future for animals across India.
From revolutionary policies to heroic rescues, each action goes far and wide. Our strength